The Spartans said they would flinch, and they did.
And welcome to another episode of the SD4L show. I'm Justin Thind. I'm here with my co-host Matt Sheehan. How you doing today, Matt?
Quite swell. How are you doing, Justin?
Good.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute. Obviously, Odell Brenham stepped in this chair, and I'm already sorry. There's no way I could overachieve that performance, but I'm back. So we're gonna give it a go.
We'll try to do it the best we can. Yeah,
Can do.
Yeah, it's been a good week sports-wise. After a week that could have used some positive energy. We'll talk more about those events and some of the significance that the student athletes that stepped on the court kind of possess for the university in this time of need. But kind of first off, we're gonna jump in right away with one of the guys that was key to kind of giving us something to cheer for this past week, and that's right there, as you see, freshman center for Michigan State basketball, Jaxon Kohler. Jackson, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Talking to one of the players that had a great night on Tuesday, but really it was like every Spartan that touched the court on Saturday had an amazing moment, or many amazing moments.
Yeah.
Jackson, your moment, you know when it came, baby. It was at the kind of end of the first half. There was a sequence where he had that great bucket against Trace Jackson Davis, obviously one of the best players in the conference, one of the best shot blockers. Put him in the blender, okay, no problem. And then, hey, we're going to block you too on the other end. It was absolutely hype. Two-part question, Jackson. First part, did you ever think of doing the too small on your way down the court? Did that ever cross your mind for a second?
Oh, man. I mean, sometimes doing that has crossed my mind, but it always comes back to me that karma will always bite you in the butt, because I am a big believer in karma, and I don't want that to ever come back to me.
That's fine. And that leads to the
100%.
second part of the question, too. What would Izzo have done in the timeout had you have pulled that stunt out in the first half? Would you have heard about it, or would Izzo have been like, yeah, go on, young man, go for it?
Oh, man, I would say I would hear it just a little bit, but...
Okay.
Yeah,
You've deserved it, though.
Yeah,
So, right, yeah. Made it count.
Yeah. So, Jackson, when that was all going on, I don't know how much you guys can hear. You're obviously locked into the game, but the student section was going crazy. Everyone in the stadium was going crazy. I know the bench was, like, just jumping up and down, and us at home were putting holes in our floors, just slapping the floor. What was it like for you, the energy, the momentum you created in the stadium during that stretch of a few possessions? What was that like? Can you describe that for us?
Man, the energy that I felt that night was something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. The way that, I mean, every game, we're always talking about, provide good energy for not just, our teammates, but for the crowd. And, with the tragic events that have happened recently, we wanted to, make the fans, feel good about this game. We wanted to give something to them, in this time of need. And so we as a team, just tried to put a little extra something out there, just a little extra fire. And once we started, playing really good, the energy just flowed. And it just flowed through one person to another. And me personally, I'm a very energetic guy, when things are going really well. And so when things started going good, I would just be yelling to the crowd, and they would be yelling back at me, and then I would yell back at them, and it would just go back and forth. And I just remember just feeling so good. It was definitely a memory that I'll never forget.
And speaking of the yelling, too, there was plenty of that in that timeout late in the first half. We were talking before we started recording that you lost your voice after the game because of everything that went on during. When did you finally regain the voice? Was that just like a few-hour thing, or are we finally regaining the voice right now as we're talking?
Oh, it was like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, great. Awesome. Perfect.
No,
Fantastic.
No, I mean, I'm just kidding. I mean, I remember, like, the morning, like the next morning, I was just like, oh my gosh, like I can't, just leave me be. But then, after taking a couple, hot drinks, it starts to clear up a little bit. So it's all good.
That's how you know you had a great game on defense when you lost your voice because you just locked the dude down.
You got too hype. Yeah, that's a great thing.
No, you're doing something right.
Yeah. So Jaxon, speaking of just the confidence you have in general, like you said, you like to talk a lot when things are going well, but I've just seen like from your high school career and other podcasts you've been on and dunking on Terrace Reed at the Iverson Classic, among other things, the confidence level that you have, where does that come from? How can you describe that energy you have?
The confidence that I always have is just I always have to remind myself, who I am and what I'm capable of. No matter what time of the season it is, and no matter how hard things may get or how great things may get, I don't ever want to get too high emotionally or get too low emotionally, because when you kind of get a little imbalanced, it's hard to kind of stay consistent. I always just kind of have to remind myself, you know what you're capable of. Don't let anybody tell you different, and just be smart.
That's very mature, because I let my highs get way too high. I'm never in the middle like Jaxon. So maybe when I grow up, I want to be just like Jaxon Kohler. This is a debate I've been having since Tuesday. That seemed to me like Jaxon Kohler's best game. But of course, you had the double-double against Rutgers, that you could put up a good argument for that as well. Why not just ask the man himself? Do you think Tuesday was your best game? Was it the Rutgers game? Was it a game that I'm not even mentioning right now? Or what's been your best game in your opinion as a Spartan?
I would say that, Tuesdays was obviously they're kind of the best in their own categories. Tuesdays was the best in terms of getting a solid win when we really needed it. It was more of emotional. It was my favorite emotional game.
Gotcha.
Because the kind of the connection that I had with the fans, with my teammates, with my coach, that really hit me on another level. But against Rutgers, when the double-double, basketball-wise, statistics, that was my best game.
Right on.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Yeah. So, Jaxon, you've had some great moments, like we just said. We talked about those too. But every freshman when they come in, especially into the Big Ten, there are moments, or sometimes even the whole season for some of them, where it's kind of a wake-up call, like, oh, shoot, I'm playing Big Ten basketball. This isn't high school anymore. So for you, when you came up and made this jump, what was kind of your, I guess, hardest part to transition to, or something that surprised you about playing college basketball that you don't really know until you get here?
Oh man, I remember the summer, getting ready to, start training with everybody, and I was just so anxious on trying to talk to a bunch of people and what should I get ready for? What should I prepare for? And a lot of the responses was you can condition, and you can lift weights, but until you get here, you're not really gonna know. So you just kind of have to go through the work. You're just gonna have to put it in and spend time in the gym. And when I first got here, the strength level was crazy different than high school. The pace of the game was crazy, and then the kind of the analytics part of the game, always remembering plays, always remembering defensive assignments, and always being on edge, always on your toes. It almost as if it's a completely different game in itself than high school basketball.
And, you're being coached by a Hall of Fame coach in Tom Izzo. You've also got some coaching prior to college from a guy who might make the Hall of Fame. I don't know. He's got a lot of career left. Guy by the name of LeBron James was your coach for a hot second. What are some, tidbits that he passed along to you that really helped you be the player that you are today?
Man, the time that I got to spend with him was very, very helpful in my career. He really taught me how to kind of slow things down a little bit, when you're a post player, sometimes you may not get as many touches as you want, but he taught me, the positioning and the meaning. He just kind of showed me a different angle of the game that I hadn't really seen or tried to look at before. And he just taught me how to be patient with it, and when you're patient with it, great things happen. You could become a great post passer when you're patient. And to this day, I'm still trying to work on some of those things. But, and another thing that he told me, that sticks with me to this day is just believe who you are. You know what you're capable of. Don't let anybody, tell you different. Don't let anybody, like bring down your confidence. So, I would say that's the biggest takeaway. Just believe in who you are and just don't let anybody take away your confidence.
Yeah, and I'm sure if LeBron James is telling you to believe in your confidence level, it doesn't matter what really anybody else says other than that. So.
No kidding.
So, Jaxon, speaking of Coach Izzo, a lot of people, they don't know Coach Izzo other than what they see on TV. They see him yelling and all this stuff. How would you describe Coach Izzo as someone that's spent time with him behind closed doors, someone that knows him as a person, to people that don't really know him and kind of just make assumptions based on what they see publicly?
Man, I don't think I can list enough great words to define Tom Izzo. Ever since I stepped foot here, ever since I got off my first call with him, he's just been so positive and so helpful, and he's been real. It's not this stuff that you want to hear. Like he's helped me through so many trials, like as being a freshman. He's helped me get through a lot of like I said, he's getting me through a lot of challenges that a lot of freshmen either kind of go under when they hit that wall, or they rise above, and he's done a great job helping me rise above that kind of freshman wall. And every day, he's always open arms to to talk or to get help. And the fact that he's telling me like, I'm always here if you need to talk, I'm always here if you need help, if you want to talk basketball or whatever it may be, I'm here. That doesn't just prove what a great basketball coach he is. That just shows you what a great person he is.
And also a fiery guy, though. So what a transition there. Like he's the best guy you could ever ask for, but
Yeah.
also he's known to break a clipboard in half in a timeout. I gotta ask, does that still give you like a oh crap moment, or like oh that's gonna fire us up, or have you seen him break enough clipboards where you're like, you need a new trick? Like that doesn't move me anymore. I've seen that too many times.
Dude, I remember the first time I saw that, and I literally I felt like a jolt of like I don't even know what. It was just so freaking scary. But yeah, nowadays, like every time he does it, like it's kind of a wake up call.
Sure.
It's just like, oh man, like come on, we gotta seriously get our crap together. So, but I don't know where he keeps getting those clipboards, but there's a lot.
How many would you guess it's broken if you had to estimate since you've gotten there?
That's a good question.
Like ever since he's gotten to the school?
No. Ever since you have been getting coached by him, ever since you enrolled at campus.
Okay. It'd probably be like early double digits. I'd probably say like 13 to 15.
Oh, okay.
Like
That's not too many.
A smooth baker's dozen. No, he's having a good year.
Yeah,
that's right.
So the one that you picked up, Matt, last
Can't
game,
comment on it.
that's rare. That's like 1 out of 13 this year.
Can't comment on that. But could you imagine all the clipboards throughout his career? Like this man has been a boon for the plastic industry, the clipboard industry. God, good for him.
Yeah.
Good for clipboard salesman.
I'm like, I mean, like, for me, it's like I either get really close to the guess or I'm like way off. So if you have someone else and they say something like totally different, just know that it was probably my fault. Like, so. But
if Jaxon says like 13 and someone else says 50, what that tells us is Jackson's rarely causing these clipboard breakings. He's not to blame. He doesn't see them because he's not the one causing them. So that's what that tells us.
Oh,
yeah.
You got to agree with that. Yeah. Flawless execution all the time in practice. You know, that's
no freshman mistakes.
No, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Should we introduce the segment?
We should introduce the segment.
So, Jaxon, we have a segment on the show. It's called Jaxon 5, but we only do it with guests that are named Jaxon. So this is very exciting. For the first time ever, we actually get to do this. I'm going to ask lightning questions. There's 5 of them from me, at least. Justin might have 5 over there. Are you ready? Are you ready to be put in the hot seat?
Now I am.
Let's go. Here's a hard one. Favorite color? Favorite color?
Green.
Okay, 1 for 1. There we go. Favorite pizza joint?
Ooh, Blaze Pizza.
Strong. I like that a lot. Favorite video game?
Injustice. Injustice
Okay.
2.
There we go. Favorite MSU jersey that you guys have worn this season?
I like the black ones.
That's bonus points for me. Those are my favorite as well. And then the last one I got, favorite Breslin Center memory.
I would probably say, I mean, on top of my head, it's the Tuesday night when
That's
I
hard
got
to
the
beat.
block and I started yelling at the crowd, and I saw everyone like look at me and start yelling at me, and I started yelling at them back. and then in the corner of my eye, I see AJ coming at me, screaming at me too, and I'm just like, I'm about to lose my voice, but I can keep going. Like, so yeah, that's definitely my favorite memory.
A lot more of those memories to come too, man.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
awesome.
So, Jackson, my 5, and then we'll let you go. I got favorite meal in East Lansing, so not pizza joint related.
Okay, favorite meal?
Meal, yep. Just any meal in East Lansing.
Barrios tacos.
Let's go.
He's pandering right to
Let's
you.
go.
Nah, that was for you.
The
Yeah.
last 6 times I've driven back to East Lansing, I've gotten Barrio. Yeah.
Let's go, dude. So
Yeah,
good.
The spiced rub chicken and then the bombshell, the crack sauce.
You want to go right now?
Yeah, I'll
You know
make the
what,
drive.
Jackson, we'll meet you there in 20. Yeah, we'll see you in a little bit.
20?
Yeah.
I got you.
We're putting the cinder block on the gas pedal. Yeah, we're getting there in 20. Yeah.
Jackson,
Yes,
next question. Favorite non-basketball related spot on campus? So you can't say the Berkowitz Center or the Breslin to pander to Izzo and making it seem like you're in the gym 24/7.
That'd be a good one though.
Dude, I don't even know if I've been anywhere else. There's more to campus?
Yeah.
At least. Yeah. It's to say I am West. Say I am West. Like just a place with basketball hoops. Just any.
I am West.
Yeah, any place with
Sounds
a rim.
good.
I am West.
Favorite artist? What are you listening to before the game, or really just any time?
I like Kanye. I like Drake. Just simple. Yeah, no, it's Kanye and Drake.
Makes sense.
Easy enough.
Yeah. Favorite arena you've played in so far, not counting the Breslin?
Favorite arena?
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, does the Carrier count? But I guess that doesn't count.
Sure.
Yeah, I suppose it's hard to choose one other than that because that's the most unique venue you'll probably ever play.
It's an
in.
arena for warfare
Yeah.
at times. Like that could count, I suppose.
Yeah.
It was an arena for a night for basketball. Yeah, that counts.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then the best piece of advice you've gotten that stays with you ever since you've gotten on campus, and who gave it to you?
Like, can it come in a form of a quote?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Okay, so it's a quote that I heard a long time ago, and I was with my dad and my mom, and when I came across this quote, it kind of really hit me hard, and it said, "God's gift to you is your gift for the game, but your gift to God is what you do with your game."
That's strong. That's strong.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I with that, like, it kind of sticks to me every day, you know, that he, like, you know, God has blessed me with, you know, this amazing, unique opportunity to come play at MSU, and he's, you know, blessed me, you know, with, you know, basketball skill set, and, you know, just the opportunity to be here. And I feel like every day that I don't, you know, put in 100%, you know, is, you know, it's not, you know, giving back, you know, it's not, you know, repaying, you know, that gift.
Yeah, that's a great quote. That'll keep you driven on a daily basis for sure. Just the maturity as a whole and the confidence, Jackson. It was great talking to you. Great getting insight from you and your experience at Michigan State so far. Is there anything you want to promote? Any sort of NIL initiatives you're working on? Just where people can find you? Just anything that we want to open the floor to you to kind of put out there?
I mean, Spartan Dogs for life. And you know. But I mean, that's it for me.
Sounds good. Follow Jaxon on all his social media, obviously, and keep checking out him making the Breslin Center yell at him and him yelling back.
Yeah, just keep yelling at him. Yeah, let's go.
I appreciate all your time, Jaxon. We had a lot of fun, and thanks for stopping by.
Thanks a lot, man.
No, thank you guys for having me.
For sure.
Anytime. That was awesome. Thanks a lot, man. That was great. God, what a great kid.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah, more mature than most freshmen
better.
you'll find out there for sure.
No kidding, right? I mean, as good as he is at basketball, even more fun to talk to.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
Seems like Izzo has a knack of finding those kind of guys, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, goes without saying.
It's funny because back when the recruiting cycle was in the midst, there was Isaac Trout at Virginia, who was one of Michigan State's targets. And back then, Jaxon wasn't even rated in like the top 70, I believe. By the time signing day came around, Jaxon Kohler ended up getting rated higher than Isaac Trout, and Michigan State found him in the middle of the cycle. So just goes to show you that obviously, one, Coach Izzo and his staff can pivot if they don't get someone they originally might think that they want more. And then by the end of it, like, things happen for a reason, and we got a center here with a lot of potential and already giving us some fun moments. So it's can't help but being excited for the trajectory of Jaxon's career for sure.
No kidding. And, just like we said, 100 times already, he had a great game on Tuesday, but so did a lot of other Spartans in an 80-65 win over top 20 ranked Indiana after a sluggish start, but the boys banded together and obviously powered through in the first half. In the second half, well, okay, the rest is history there.
Yeah.
This is a silly question. This is a dumb question. Who impressed you on Tuesday night, other than Jaxon Kohler, of course? Because you got about, 7 names that you could rattle off.
I think the first name that comes to mind for me is Madi Sissoko after Jaxon Kohler, just because it has been so long since we have seen a performance like this from him. For all the other guys that were impressive, for A.J. Hogarth and his 22 points, and Malik Hall for a second straight game making some shots, and Tyson Walker doing well, Joey Hauser, all those guys, they've shown more consistency than Madi, I would say. So for Madi to have this kind of a performance, I know the stat line was not that impressive with the 2, 3, and 1, I believe, but the fact of the matter was he was very active. He showed endless motor for the first time, I would say, since the Kentucky game. Just boxing guys out, trying his best. Even if he wasn't the one getting the rebound, he was in good position this time consistently, diving on the ball on the floor for the loose ball, swatting shots into other people's faces.
That was ruthless.
Yeah, just the activity I've seen from him. It was a refreshing occurrence after a while of not having it.
I just love the game plan that the team walked in with, and then of course, you have to have a strong game plan. You also have to have strong execution on top of that, and Trace Jackson Davis, and Trace Jackson Davis were the top 3 guys that MSU had to contain, and I love what they had to do. They wanted to keep him from getting the ball on the left side of the hoop. I mean, that's, Trace Jackson cooks from everywhere, really, but if you want to Jordan rules it for this great post player, keep him away from the left side, and it was until the second half where he even caught the ball at the left side of the rim. I mean, they were walling him off perfectly, and then, of course, just like we saw Saturday against Michigan, the double teams were just incredibly timed. They were creative. They didn't happen all the time, so it wasn't completely assumed that it would happen, but I mean, just being that crafty and that precise, executing the double teams, I mean, that's how you get 7 turnovers. Trace Jackson Davis. And, hey, holding him to 19 and 7, that's a great day. You take that every time.
Right.
Every time.
Yeah. When you look at guys like TJD and Zach Edey and these guys, sure, 19 and 20 and 21 points, those kind of range of points might look impressive, which they are, but
they are.
At the end of the day, if those guys are fixtures, centerpieces on their team, you'll take that output every single day of the week.
Please, take 25 if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Let's get nuts. Doesn't matter.
Take 27 as long as no one else is hitting threes from the corner off the double team helps.
Well, when you won by 15, you could take even more than 19.
Yeah, I think you make a great point. They didn't let him catch the ball to his left, and then the one time he finally did in the second half, the first time he caught it, he traveled. So
sure did.
The frustration was obviously mounting there, and Michigan State was very calculated with those double teams, and I'm sure that's kind of what was in his head on that possession there. And just a great game plan from everyone. And even though Madi was my answer to your question, we can't help but mention Tyson Walker's just hero ball threes that were just
he cooked.
Didn't miss, couldn't miss.
It was a tough start to the game, and understandably so. I mean, no one's going to question why this team maybe played a little tight to start the game on Tuesday.
Right.
I mean, But yeah, the reason that it was a tight game in that pocket of like the 12-minute mark to the 8-minute mark, maybe even the 4-minute mark, was Tyson Walker just splashing threes home. And well, by the time that the rest of the team was ready to get the head above water, because Tyson kept the boys treading. But once they got above water, I mean, Cannonball City all over the place, man.
Yeah. Usually, I like the game flow where one guy's not being too ball dominant with the shot selection.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Johnny Davises of the world, Carson Edwards, not really my style of college basketball. But Tyson Walker, he can shoot as many times as he wants, as far as I'm concerned. Just 20 shots, 25 shots. He can do that all day, as far as I'm concerned.
Might not be the last time talking about Tyson Walker on the show, Justin. That's right. Yeah. That's a little tease for 2 or facts, 1 is whack later. That's it.
Oh,
that's right. Right.
Let's see if I can improve upon my 0-3 record so far.
We believe in you.
We'll see.
We believe in you. Yeah. Is there a question about it? Look, there really is no good pivot here, but we talk about the execution, the game plan that Michigan State walked in with, and of course, that's headed up by Tom Izzo, the assistant coaches, and we would be remiss not to talk about Tom Izzo right now and just what he's meant to not just the program, okay, obviously, everything going on, just with his own team, but what he's just meant as a figure for the university as well.
Yeah.
Where do you even want to begin? Because there's everything to say about this man. There really is.
Yeah, I think you put it very eloquently there. Of he's a figurehead for the university. Yeah. People might take it for granted when they see a guy like Coach Izzo go up there and address the crowd of students after a tragedy like that. Michigan State fans are kind of immune to it because of the presence he's had and the longevity he's had here. But that doesn't happen everywhere. If that incident were to happen anywhere else, I don't know how many times the basketball coach would talk. So, first of all, that is a very rare occurrence that Tom Izzo provides for the university in his stability and his presence. Second of all, just you're right. The way that Izzo and his team all approached their impact and their opportunity to help the healing process, I don't think they could have done it any better. First of all, they probably were not in the most normal mental space these past 2 weeks, and they went out there and they battled. But second of all, they kind of did it in a way where it kind of inspires you. Even though in the Michigan game they dropped that game, it wasn't because they came out flat. They came out fighting.
Yep.
Once again, this game they fought for pretty much the whole game. So they weren't even just going through the motions. They came out and they did something that just playing is impressive enough. But then they actually played so well that it's just such a unifying force.
1,000%. And you just outside the lines, too. I mean, look, no one ever doubted that Izzo wasn't going to have the right things to say. But it's just how many times he's stepped in front of Spartan Nation and has, addressed what's going on. We go from the vigil. Okay, like what he said there was fantastic. Talked about the strength of togetherness, becoming one just with your neighbors, all of Spartan Nation, but also not being afraid to show your emotions, taking as much time as you need to deal with everything going on. And then before the Michigan game saying that, hey, we're not trying to overshadow anything. This is just our way of maybe giving a small distraction. The victims will always be on our minds no matter what. So just what he said there. And even after the game on Tuesday, he had the video, MSU basketball tweeted it out, just thanking the fans as well, which, I mean, God, you really think that it should be the other way around, like, right? The fans thanking him. I mean, of course, probably no one's going to produce that well-put-together video that he had for Spartan Nation, but I hope he feels the love from Spartan Nation. Right. And because he is Spartan Nation, he has been the glue in these last 2 weeks and has just hit every single note perfectly. So it can't be understated how important he has been to the whole community. This goes way beyond basketball. This is entirely Spartan Nation that he's affecting.
Definitely. Very well said there.
I try every once in a while.
Yeah.
So again, hey, here's another one. No good transition, but the boys are going to continue this Saturday, noon, at Iowa. We talked with Jaxon Kohler before we started recording that. He's a little sick of these 9 p.m. tip-offs. So how about some 11 a.m. Central Time basketball for the boys coming up in Iowa? Iowa is just a fascinating team. They look like the 2015 Golden State Warriors at home, and then when they hit the road, good God, they look like a CYO team. But so unfortunately, this is played at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Just thoughts on this game. I mean, what are you looking for here?
I will guarantee. I will guarantee.
I love this.
That Iowa will make at least 9 threes.
Yeah.
This game.
Probably.
Because I think they made 2 last game and 3 the game before. Yeah. That is the definition of being due. On the other hand, though, Michigan State, I think they'll be able to score on Iowa better than they've had against most teams. Iowa is a team where they might outscore a lot of your opponents, but they're not going to match up in terms of the defensive toughness. And I think Michigan State can get in the paint. I think A.J. Hogarth's going to be able to have the dribble drive going. I know he didn't have the best game against Iowa last time around. I don't think that's going to be an occurrence a second time around. I think Michigan State is hopefully going to be able to channel the energy from inside the paint from Kohler and Mari Sissoko, and I wouldn't be surprised if Carson Cooper comes out motivated to also continue playing at that level. So I think inside the paint, they're going to finally have a consistent center production level, hopefully, maybe wishful thinking, but I think they can continue that momentum. They can get some of their offense in there as well and hopefully match up with Iowa's due offense.
Yeah, like it goes without saying, this is a very obvious first key to the game here, but it's going to be Chris Murray. And look, Iowa stunk up the joint when they visited Wisconsin not too long ago, and Chris Murray had the worst game of his year so far. He just had 5 points. And we're talking about a kid that averages 20 and 8. And just like the rest of Iowa, really good shooting team at home as opposed to on the road. Chris Murray, he's exactly the same. But MSU does have the good fortune of having some versatile defenders they can throw at him. Like last game, they gave them a steady dose of Malik Hall on Chris Murray. And that was off of Malik Hall's foot injury, too. He gave 25 good minutes there. But also when Malik was out, gave him A.J. Hogarth. We've seen Tyson Walker time and time again throughout the season match up with guys that are even 7, 8, 9 inches taller than him. So that's not even out of the question, too. And then, your fourth horseman, Jaden Akins can get stuff done as well. So there's no shortage of guys that you can throw at Chris Murray. Just making sure that maybe we shut off the valves everywhere else. But that's easier said than done, so we'll see.
I think great point there. Specifically when it comes to Malik Hall and Jaden Akins, really impressed with how those guys have played the past week or so. Malik Hall is hunting for a shot. Still shoots some high difficulty shots here and there, but he's making a lot of them and generating good offense. And Jaden Akins, ever since he decided to stop having a lot of his shots be three-pointers in the middle of the the game I'm talking about, drawing a blank. But anyway, his last 4 shots.
So am I. This is terrible. I'm sorry. This is amateur hour right now.
Yes. Jaden Akins has started to dribble drive way more, and he is becoming very lethal in terms of court vision, in addition to just simply, as we know, finishing at the rim at a high level. And those two guys, I think if they're going to continue playing at the level they've had the last 2 weeks, it's very good shape for Michigan State in that regard. But just like Malik Hall, health-wise, ever since it was rumored that he was in very grave condition with his foot, he's come out and he's been dunking like prime Andre Iguodala with no regard for human safety. And he seems very, very healthy, so that's good to see the last month or so.
He almost gave himself a buzz cut on the rim against Indiana on Tuesday. That was sensational. But guys, what a saga that was. You remember that?
Yeah.
My God, they were outfitting him for a peg leg. And then next thing you know, no, I'm just going to play 25 minutes actually against Iowa and then just be great. So that's, God, what a
Michigan State's version of the Miles Powell sort of incident there.
Great callback. Are you ready to start winning, Justin, at 2 Are Facts? 1 is whack.
I would like to do so. Seems like a promising sort of proposition.
You are due. All right, gang. If this is your first time watching the show, it's very easy.
It's not easy.
Well, it's an easy concept, I should say. 3 statements. 2 are facts. 1 is whack. Justin Thin, are you ready to play? 2 are facts. 1 is whack.
I am.
First statement. Here we go. Now, this is only for Big Ten home games.
Okay.
For this first statement. Tyson Walker's 3-point percentage in home Big Ten games this season is higher than Cassius Winston's was in his senior season.
Okay.
Statement number 2. A.J. Hogarth has more 3-pointers made this season than he did in his first 2 years combined.
Okay.
Statement number 3. Joey Hauser has made more 3-pointers than free throws this season.
Very interesting.
Justin Thin, which one is whack? And which 2 are facts? You want to hear them again? or are you...
No, I got them.
All right.
So, I do not recall Tyson Walker missing a 3 at home this year in Big Ten play.
Okay.
The issue is I also don't remember Cassius missing many of those.
Cassius, he was good.
Yeah.
He was good.
Indeed, could shoot the ball.
He could. Some say.
So this honestly, right now, all 3 of them look true. Joey doesn't get to the line that often. He does occasionally. try to score in the paint, but not as often as he shoots threes, and I think that's how it should be for him. So I can definitely see that one being true. Now, I guess the AJ one is sort of tricky. AJ wasn't a great shooter the last 2 years, obviously, and he's gotten much better this year, but I still don't know if the volume is that high this year for me to be saying that that is also a fact. So that's the one I'm going to go with as my whack.
That's going to be a smooth over 4, Justin. I'm sorry. I'm rooting for you. I really am rooting for you. The true statement here. I'm sorry, there's 2 true statements. The first true statement is Tyson Walker's three-point percentage in home Big Ten games is higher than Cassius Winston's was in his senior year. Cassius Winston, his senior year in the 10 home Big Ten games was 27 of 57. That's good for 47%. That's out of control. That's amazing. Tyson Walker, 23 of 46 in home Big Ten games so far this year for 50%. So that's your first fact. The second fact, AJ has made more threes this year than his previous 2 years combined. He's made 18 this year and just 10 combined his first 2 years.
It wasn't even close.
Right? But that was tricky. I mean, it is. Joey Hauser has 54 made three-pointers, 58 made free throws.
Really?
So, it doesn't shoot like a metric crap ton of free throws, but he makes them. Like, he's great at making them. So it was close there. 54 threes to 58 free throws. Thank you for playing. 2 are facts. 1 is whack.
You're welcome.
Better luck next week. I believe in you. You got this, baby. Or maybe not. Who's to say? Who is to say?
Probably not.
Yeah.
We need to start giving out odds and letting people bet in the chat.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. I like that idea a lot, actually. I'm never going to turn down a chance to bet.
I think we probably need some sort of a gaming license for that.
No, that's like a ask for forgiveness, not permission sort of thing. Like, it'll be fine. There has to be at least a lawyer watching or listening that'll back us up here. Maybe.
This is true. This is true.
Maybe.
Probably.
We'll see.
1 or 2.
Over under 0.5 lawyers listening right now. What do you got?
Does it have to be listening live or can it be on replay?
Live. Yeah, no, listening live.
Over.
Okay, if you're a lawyer, please comment on the YouTube channel right now. Even if you're lying, we're not going to check anything. So please comment and let us know if you are a lawman listening to this show right now.
Yes.
Or watching. Thank you, too.
I know somebody with a JD is going to be commenting in the YouTube channel. We should have stakes if they're not.
Oh, we should.
We'll take it offline. We'll come up with some sort of bet.
Some live odds. Well, thanks for playing, Justin. That was a good time.
Getting worse and worse every week. So, Matt, should we switch gears?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, this week, it's going to be myself, Corey Robinson, and the guys at 24/7 just working hard to confirm who's visiting in March and in April. It's going to be a lot of fun covering recruiting again in the spring. February, very dry month, probably the driest month in all of recruiting. Yeah. August, a close second. January is still fun because there's some junior days, but usually it's not a lot of kids from way out of state coming in. But spring visits, leading all the way up to the spring game. Now, that is a time where you really get to understand what the recruiting boards are looking like. Kids are putting actions where their words are, and they are starting to reciprocate interest in a lot of schools. The schools, as a result, can start to make some realistic expectations of who is someone they are worth allocating time towards.
Gotcha.
So this is kind of where we start to, just like the fans, us reporters, this is where we start to understand who are the names to focus on.
Okay.
Of course, they change a lot, but this is really the first milestone in my eyes of where the next class starts to take shape in terms of a recruiting board perspective. So, in that regard, we already have quite a few names that are confirmed for visiting in March. I'll just give an update for where we stand this week, and of course we will go ahead and update that next week, as I'm sure we'll have many more confirmations. Not going to be the complete list, obviously, because then that would be devaluing our customers that subscribe to our premium sites, but some big names that are definitely worth knowing about. The name that everyone was asking about back in January, the name that who has visited 3 or 4 times now, quarterback from the Peach State, 2024, Jake Merklinger.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Good player.
Yep. I'm sure the Chief has tweeted about him at least twice this week.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he is visiting on March 18th. Okay. That is shaping up to be a important visit weekend. And that's going to be a weekend where I think there's going to be several offensive linemen. There are already 3 of them committed. You can go ahead and check the site for that. But also, Nitro Tuggle. Nitarion Tuggle is his name, but Nitro Tuggle is what he goes by. A receiver I'm very impressed with. He's coming up that weekend, and he has a Georgia offer recently, so that validated my amateur eye there, and he looks like he's a pretty good prospect. So those two guys are kind of what I look at on March 18th. Then March 25th is going to be another weekend. Right now, Fletcher Westphal is the only confirmed visitor that weekend. He's a top 100 offensive lineman. That's a weekend that we're going to be keeping a close eye on. And that's really kind of the two big weekends. There's going to be kids coming in whenever they have a chance throughout the weeks, maybe whenever their spring breaks are. But right now, I think March 18th should be a big one. March 25th should be a decent one. And that's kind of where our eyes are on right now.
Major hat tip for whoever organized this over St. Patrick's Day weekend at Michigan State. Like, you want to show kids some campus? Oh yeah, well, we'll show you campus. God, the best weekend of all time at MSU. And also, hey, first round NCAA tournament to campus is going to be buzzing, hopefully. So yeah, that's it's in the air, Justin. Recruiting is back. It has felt like 4 months since we've been able to talk recruiting, but we're back, baby. We're back.
A lot of fun.
That's exciting.
A lot of fun.
That's exciting.
Spring game is probably going to have great attendance like it did last year.
Yep.
That's probably my favorite recruiting event
Gotcha.
on the calendar. So a lot of exciting times here in the next 2 months, even if signing day is a long time away. A lot of insight can be gleaned here.
There we go. Should we spin it to Owen?
We should spin it to Owen.
Owen, take us to MSU Athletics Church, please. Let's go.
All right, well, not too much to talk about, but women's season is finishing up. They just had their senior day. K-Mac, Jayla James, and Stephanie Vischer were all honored. Michigan State came away with the victory, but I mean, it's been a really tough season for the women. I mean, Susie Merchant's still out after the one car crash that she was in, and Dean Lockwood has really stepped in a big way and filled in for the team. And obviously, what else they've gone through is it's been a hard season, but it's been a learning season as well for the women's team, and a lot of their team is coming back, which is a good thing. Gymnastics, they're still. They got some meets coming up at home in a couple of weeks. Hockey is off. They have their bye week. Big Ten tournament is coming up. That is massive. Still in the hunt for the playoffs as well. I'm not 100% sure how seeding is working, but I know they still have a shot at hosting a home playoff game, which would be insane as well. So if that is confirmed, you guys definitely got to go out for that one.
Yeah.
And besides that, I mean, baseball, softball they're playing down south right now. There's, I guess, tournaments and stuff, and they're both doing fairly well. But I mean, it's basically basketball season still. So like you said, St. Patty's Day, man. Matt, you were harping on it. Dude, I've never seen this. It's a national holiday.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've never seen like I swear obviously I'm a junior, so I've been here for 2 St. Patty's Days, and every single year it's like been fantastic weather. It's whatever. It's like it could be like 30 degrees the day after, 30 degrees the day before, and it's that been on St. Patrick's Day, and it's like, holy crap, and everyone just skips class basically. I
miss it so much.
Like, people are waiting outside Dublin at 6 a.m. It's like, dude. But no, yeah, it's St. Patrick's Day. I'm really excited for that one. Obviously, we got spring break coming up, but I did just want to quickly talk about just what it's been like being a student on campus.
Yeah, please.
Definitely.
I mean, it's obviously been tough, Everyone's going to deal with it their own way. And it's, it's going to take different amounts of times for everyone, and just the way everyone deals with it is okay. And make sure you reach out for help if you need it. Whether it's professors, students, everyone has had a difficult time. It's a weird time, especially I guess for the junior class, and I guess also senior class as well, coming in during COVID and that just being a whole issue, and now this, it's been a lot being a Michigan State student, but I don't regret it at all. I love every second that I've been here, and it just I work the Tom Izzo shows every week, and just coming in Izzo gets a standing ovation from everyone there. He's an emotional guy, and he's just constantly crying. But he's not afraid to show that, and I have a lot of respect for him and just the man he is and what he's meant for this university and everything like that. He's going to continue to keep on doing it. Like, everything he said at the visual was much needed, and he really spoke the truth for all of the Spartan Nation. And also, like, when it did occur, all the people that texted me that were Spartans checking on one another, and the people I texted as well, I really think that shows that Spartan Nation is a family. It's Spartan strong. That really does show what everybody represents here at Michigan State, because Michigan State is a family. Spartans help Spartans. Everyone's going to help you as whatever career field you're in or whatever you need. They're gonna, if you reach out, they're gonna help you. That's what I love about this university and the culture that is here as well.
Yeah, very well eloquated there, for sure. And I know, Owen, we were kind of talking to you a little bit when that was all going down, and it was just something like you can't really imagine like being part of. Like you think you kind of know how it might be, but like you just can't really imagine what that kind of a situation would be like in the moment. And you and all the other students and everyone on campus that was going through that. Appreciate you sharing the insight on kind of on behalf. I know everyone takes it in differently, but we appreciate you talking about it here on the show for sure. And couldn't agree more with everything Owen said about Tom Izzo, and even just further all the student athletes that played for all the sports you talked about, and they all went out there, they played hard, which probably wasn't even a prerequisite. I don't think anyone would have blamed them if they came out flat, but I believe the day that the athletic department resumed competition, Michigan State Athletics was undefeated collectively, 4-0. So just the fighting spirit of everyone on campus and the students and the student athletes. You did a great job summarizing it there, Owen, and we definitely appreciate all your insight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I said hi to Tucker because I also work a show, and he said just keep shopping, so we just got to keep shopping.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, guys.
Yeah, just great sort of unifying force there that athletics has been for the university, I think. And I think on that note, do we kind of want to talk about who our Spartan Dog of the Week is?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to funnel right into just the entire student-athlete body, no question. The student body too, really. I mean, no one could have said it better than Owen right there. Everyone's going to take their own time. Everyone's going to process this different. Everyone was impacted by this differently. So, but for all the student athletes to be out there competing, that can't be easy with the amount of focus. And just being on campus on Tuesday, you walk by the Union, you walk by the Sparty statue, and for me personally, everyone of course has their own experience, but like it's different watching it on the news. You're obviously part of the community. You've been there 100 times, but walking by those landmarks now, it's very sobering. It's a punch to the stomach when you walk by those things now. And I just did it once, like just walk by those things once. These students have to go through that every single day now that they're on campus, and of course just maybe even replaying anything in their mind. But yeah, just to have the focus and the fortitude to get out on the court and compete as well as they have. A lot of these teams won over the weekend. Like they didn't just compete like you said, but they played hard, and a lot of victories as well. So yeah, Spartan Dog of the Week goes to all the Spartans over there. I mean, that goes without saying. There's going to be very little debate about that one. Yeah,
I would say so. Great job there, Matt. I think anyone and everyone that, while their own mental health was probably not in the greatest spot, I would guess, they also went out there at the same time and tried to help everyone else have some more positivity and improve their sort of state of mind. So shout out to all the MSU student athletes of all sports that went out there and did that for everyone watching.
Yeah, Spartan Nation's proud of you guys. No doubt. Before we go here, hey, we got to give some flowers out. We'd like to do this at the end of every show. We're talking former Michigan State athletes, perhaps a coach every once in a while. We like to mix it up. We are giving our flowers today to L.J. Scott. That's right, the hero of the Big Ten championship in 2015. How many yards did he have on that last drive? I think he compiled 213 yards in that
Sounds
final
about
drive
right.
on 47 carries in that very famous drive that will forever live in lore. But hey, you know what? He did a lot more than that too. So let's talk about that. 2015 as a true freshman. Hey, remember that fun little win at Ohio State? 4.5 yards per carry in that horrible weather pit of a game. 146 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 3-point win against Purdue. That's right. They were almost the spoiler makers that day. LJ Scott said, no. We have aspirations of a Big Ten title here. 2 touchdowns against Oregon as well. That was like, his second game of his young career. So also 2017, another great season for MSU, the 10-win season. Just 220 all-purpose yards, and 2 touchdowns against Minnesota, something light like that. 110 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns in the Holiday Bowl. And also, another miserable weather game, 147 yards in the Snow Bowl against Maryland. So yes, LJ Scott left his impact at Michigan State. Of course, hey, that Big Ten title game, something that, this program right now is still chasing after. We know how special those are.
Yeah.
And we're able to celebrate them because of LJ Scott, the rest of the 2015 team. But no, LJ Scott, take every petal of the flowers that you deserve, man. You're the best. Let's go.
Very well said. Now that is a workhorse bell cow running back right there.
Dang.
Shout out LJ Scott.
One time for him.
Well, Matt.
That's it.
Sounds like that about does it for this week's episode of the SD4L show, unless you have any parting words.
No, I love all you guys, truly, genuinely. I know I'm keep rehashing the same lines over and over again, but the community that MSU Nation has is incredibly powerful. It's strength in numbers, obviously, huge alumni base, huge student body. I mean, it's got just the physical size of campus too is big as well, but you have really felt all the love in the last 2 weeks here from Spartan Nation, so cannot overstate how important that has been. Izzo has said it best. I mean, hey, let's all keep checking in on each other, showing love, and hey, take as much time as you need to process however you have to do so.
And speaking of all the collective love in the community, hard to measure and quantify, but one way that we've seen that, all of the donations that have come in for all of the official GoFundMes and the Spartan Strong Foundation and all of that. So definitely still keep donating there.
Yep.
I'm sure for most outlets you can find a single view sort of official endorsement of where you can go ahead and make those donations. I know the State News has an article like that. So if you just Google ways to give to the Michigan State, that is something that I'm sure everyone would still continue to appreciate. A lot of the students that were survivors are still in the hospital, so definitely continue to do that. And that is all that I have to say as well. So with that, we appreciate everyone that tuned in for this episode, and we'll see you next week.
Love you guys.
Please close your eyes, turn around, and count to 9. When you open them, I will be gone.